We have almost had exactly 24 hours to react to the initial report from 247 Sports that Bill Belichick had interviewed with UNC for their football position. 24 hours later, it doesn't seem any more ridiculous on the surface. It seems so out of the blue. It seems like, I don't know, Greg Popovich like interviewing for a college basketball job. Like it's hard to put your brain around it. But the more it rattles around in my brain, the more you forget about it, and then you're driving home and you're like, remember, was that real? The more it bounces around from my orbital whatevers, I don't know what the skull bones are called, the more I believe that UNC has to put forth the full court press. You have to. Is it a perfect hire? No. Is it fail-proof? No. But is the ceiling so high that you have to see it through? I think it is. And even more so, I think it's becoming more plausible. Right? Because you don't want to get your hopes up about something that is completely a pipe dream. Right? You just, when your friend comes to you and is like, hey, guess who might be coming to your birthday party? And you're like, who? But Matthew McConaughey. What?
All right.
How are you going to pull? Well, a friend of 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 a friend said he might be in the area and they might be able to get him to stop by. And you're like, why are you telling me this? He's not going to come to my birthday. And now it's the lottery thing, right? No matter how bad the chances are, I'm going to get my hopes up. So Bill Belichick coaching UNC feels a bit like, is Matthew McConaughey going to come to your birthday? But each detail that comes out, it's like, well, actually, somebody just saw Matthew McConaughey at the hotel down the street, and they saw him getting in an Uber, and the Uber's coming this way. It's like, all right, I don't know what the percentages were at the beginning, but seems like the percentages are going up.
Bubba Cunningham had a virtual meeting with Bill Belichick on Tuesday, then just met with him in person yesterday. Next thing you know, he's going to be spotted at He's Not on Franklin Street.
The reports are out there that they have had 2 interviews. 2 makes it, that's a threshold to get over. Because if Bill Belichick is just a friend of somebody, some agent, some administrator knows him, they hang out, they go on the boat together, and just says, hey, will you interview for UNC just to make it seem like a more desirable job? Will you interview with UNC just so other big name coaches think it's okay to interview with UNC? You do it once, you leak it, you never do it again. Coming back for a second interview tells me it's not for show. There's at least some form of interest between the two. Then you get to the next step. This is reporting done by Ali. Actually, let's play the audio. Adam Schefter of ESPN, which, there's a whole generation of us that don't believe anything is real till Shefty's talking about it. Adam Schefter of ESPN talked about Bill Belichick interviewing at UNC.
Listen, Bill Belichick wants to coach next year, whether it's in college or whether it's in the NFL. And I think the fact that he's talking to colleges like North Carolina, as Inside Carolina first reported, is an indication that he is open-minded in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure he's enjoyed being a media darling this year, but he is at heart a coach, and he would like to get back to coaching, whether that's at the NFL level or if it's the right situation with the right organization, the right staff surrounding him at the college level. It's a different game, college these days, but he's not closing off that option, as evidenced by the fact that he has now spoken with officials from North Carolina.
Shefty says it, I'm believing it. Ali Connolly on Twitter, as we continue to talk how plausible is this. He's a writer for The Guardian. I'm just going to read it for you, straight from Ali Connolly. Per sources, Connolly's told Bill Belichick's negotiations with North Carolina include a guarantee that Stephen Belichick, that's Bill's son, will be named the school's head coach in waiting. UNC is open to that guarantee. Discussions are not a bid to gain leverage for NFL offers, and Bill Belichick is open to the move. Here's why I think that matters. That is part of the creativity that UNC would need to protect themselves. Be clear that you want a succession plan in place because he is 72 years old. And be clear you want that succession plan to be public. Say at your initial press conference, when I retire from coaching, I'm going to become an analyst, a GM. I'm going to become ambassador for this program. And blank will be the head coach. Steve Belichick, somebody else who Bill Belichick wants to set up, and work all the numbers out and put it in the contract originally. Here's my salary when I'm the head coach. Here's my salary when I'm the ambassador. Here's this person's salary as a coordinator. Here's what their salary goes to when they become head coach. Here's the terms. Here's how long. Here's everything about it. So there is no mystery. So when a parent sends their recruit son to Chapel Hill to play for Bill Belichick, they are confident that it's not a one semester with Bill Belichick and then 3.5 semesters where you're playing the portal and you're worried about the future because you don't know. Protect yourself. Hiring is the fact that Bill Belichick is 72 is one of the only hangups that I think really makes it something UNC should be worried about. And if he shows up with somebody you like as the coach in waiting, that alleviates that fear. Now, here's the next tweet from Ollie Connolly. Any potential staff would include Matt Patricia, Ben McDaniels, Matt Patricia, the former Lions head coach, coordinator, a couple different spots in the NFL, Ben McDaniels, who's the Texans pass game coordinator and the brother of Josh McDaniels, as well as a sitting college GM who would handle the general operations of NIL, recruiting, etc. Bill Belichick, part of the reason why I'm saying you have to try is he will bring famous friends. He will bring friends from a higher level. He will bring friends with NFL pedigrees. I'm going to use another. Graham, when you're here, the analogies flow. It reminds me, second reference that I played at Delaware. I'm also wearing a Delaware shirt today. I'm just Delaware'd out. Played football at the University of Delaware. It was FCS at the time. We could get transfers from the FBS level down to the FCS level, and they wouldn't have to sit out a year. If you went FBS to FBS, you would have to sit out a year. So there was a year we got a Maryland transfer. Kid was a stud, ended up playing in the NFL. A transfer from Maryland to Delaware. Guess what happened the next year after he had a really good season at Delaware? We had like 7 or 8 transfers from Maryland that were FBS level athletes playing at the FCS level, and a bunch of them went on to play in the NFL. We very benefited a bunch from those guys making the move, and it was because we brought in the one who had famous friends. You bring in Bill Belichick, he's bringing famous friends. He's bringing coordinator NFL level coaches. He's bringing other guys, and here's the thing. Does Bill Belichick need a stud defensive coordinator? No, he can call the defensive plays, but recruits are going to love playing for guys that coached in the NFL. All right, let's go out here. Let's make sure we win this ACC game, but also, coach, if I were coming into the draft, what would you think I need to work on? He is a program changer, Bill Belichick would be. Buzz, fame is a new currency in college sports. I don't know if Deion Sanders is involved much in the defensive play calling for Colorado. I don't know if he's sitting there. I know he knows a ton. I know he is a genius football level athlete, and he could. I don't know if he is. I do know that his name and the people he brings in that locker room every post game after wins have turned Colorado into something else. I'm not saying Bill Belichick's going to be bringing rappers and 2 Chainz and everything else into the post-game locker room, but I am saying, would you be surprised if Teddy Bruschi showed up? Would you be surprised if Julian Edelman showed up? Would you be surprised if Danny Amendola, who was on Dancing with the Stars, showed up? Gronk showed up? No, I wouldn't be surprised. Imagine being a tight end. You're being recruited. You're choosing between UNC and some SEC school, and Bill Belichick shows up and goes, "What, you want to FaceTime Gronk? All right, let's get Gronk on the line. He'll tell you how much fun you can have playing tight end for me." It'd be a program changer. Last tweet here from Ollie Connolly of The Guardian, who had some insight into the Belichick deal. Belichick's preference, from what Connolly is told, remains a return to the NFL. But the landscape is already considered thin based on feedback from the league. Moving to college with a guarantee for his son as head coach in waiting will overrule waiting on the NFL carousel. Here would be my strategy if I were UNC. Give Bill Belichick, quickly, a bird in the hand, right? We'll give you this head coaching job. We will bring in your preferred head coach in waiting, and we will support you in a way that you see fit, and you get to coach football again this fall. That is guaranteed. I will give you 24 hours to decide. Bird in the hand, right? If you want to hold out for two in the bush, if you want to hold out for an NFL job, a better job, if you want to hold out for, to see if Jerry Jones fires Mike McCarthy, feel free. But right here, right now, I can guarantee you will be coaching football in front of fans again this fall. Because everything I've heard about Bill Belichick is, despite the fact that he's on the Manning Cast every week and he's doing this podcast and he's doing that radio show and he's doing in-studio work, is he wants to coach football. Everything I've heard is he is going to coach football next year somewhere, be it high school, be it college, be it NFL, XFL, Pop Warner, start a Madden franchise. He's going to coach football. Guarantee that for him right now. And see if you can't get him to commit. And then my next piece of advice for UNC football would be, when that happens, have him call this show to break the news so the locals hear it first. Right? You want to take – he is very community-oriented. Start right here. This is the place to do it. That's goes without saying, but I feel like the advice needs to be heard.